Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to focus on the gap and the gain concept that were also showcased in the book Gap and Gain Concept by Dr. Benjamin Hardy with Dan Sullivan. And the main idea that I want to give you in this video is that you are way more ahead than you actually believe to be. And I do believe this is why there has been a resurgence of video on how to get ahead of 99% of people and stuff. People want to constantly get ahead of everyone else and don't actually see how far they've already come. And this is the video for you. We're gonna divide it in 4 chapters. I have my notes here just to keep it all clean. And chapter 1, we're gonna dive into how we are conditioned to feel like failures almost daily. Chapter 2, how the gap ruins you. Chapter 3, only seeing gains and the doors it opens. Chapter 4, practical implications. Coming to chapter 1, how we are conditioned to feel like failures on the daily. As children, we are already taught how to perceive everything. We are shown what is possible and what isn't, what is normal and what isn't, what is deemed achievable by society standards or parent standards or friend standards. And this opens up a certain world of possibility. And I would say that there are multiple worlds of possibilities because it's all based on your own understanding and your own vision, I would say, of what is shown to you as being possible. People who have built flights like airplanes probably didn't, like the people around them probably didn't think it was possible, and they still believed in the idea and made it happen. Even looking at influencers or content creators nowadays, 15 years ago you were not able to make money from being on YouTube, and now it's totally different. There are also a lot of things that don't seem possible, but it's rather a possibility that was created and a new realm of possibility that was therefore created. We are being taught certain aspects of what is achievable, doable, possible in school, by our friends, by our parents, our family members, and therefore we lose a sense of possibilities that are out there that might be more in line with how we see our own lives or the dreams that we have. Basically, we are starting to live based on others' baselines. Others have maybe made some experiences or have also a certain vision of what is possible, what is achievable based on what is already out there, like specific jobs that have existed for hundreds of years or that are more normalized in society, which are achievable and therefore possible. We also reduce our own world of possibilities based on the experiences that we have personally made and others' experiences of friends and other people in our environment. This world of possibilities that we already had in our heads is therefore reinforced by what we see others going through. This is, I think, one of the main reasons why we often hear people telling us, if you want to do something, go to someone who has already done it. It's true that, for instance, if I want to build a business or study a specific field, like for example, let's say studying medicine, it would be more logical for me to go to someone who has studied medicine than to, for instance, go to my parents who have nothing to do with the medical field, unless my parents are super open-minded and therefore do believe that I can do it. It's more logical to go to someone who showcases and proves that it is achievable than to go to someone who might have tried and failed and given up, or a person who has not even anticipated it. But considering how we are brought up, I think this already gives us a certain foundation to understand how we even come to think that certain things are doable and certain things are not. Number 2, chapter 2, going into how the gap actually ruins your life. Being in the gap means that you had, for example, a certain vision or a plan that you wanted to reach by a certain age. For instance, I would say I believed that I would be married by the age of 25. I didn't even have a boyfriend when I said it, and I wrote it out when I was like 17 years old. This is not something that happened, and obviously I could be in the gap and think, oh, look at me right now, 27, not married, no relationship, etc., etc., and just remain phased or remain unsatisfied with the life that I'm currently living or with the things that I have experienced, or even thinking I wanted to build a pharmaceutical company, which I said in the last video, and I obviously have not achieved that yet. And I could just tell myself, look at how old I am, look at me not having achieved all these things and not being able to see all the things that have happened and simply being in the gap, being in the lack mindset. This is missing from my life. These are the things that I saw for myself that I was not able to achieve. Maybe you didn't even believe you could do it from the get go, which even more reinforces the sense of being in the gap. It might be that you had specific dreams or purpose that, due to you being in the gap, might fall back. Like the dreams that you had as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, or you're probably still a young adult, that you have given up on because you now see them as things that are unachievable, that are impossible. This is being in the gap. It's starting to think that certain things are impossible, or at least impossible for you. You're not able, as I said previously, you're not able to see your skills and the knowledge that you have been able to gather over the years, and only focus on the vision of you that you have not reached yet. You can never actually look back to your past and look at it with pride. This is one of the worst things that happens because, due to us being in the gap, you don't see yourself fully. You don't see the whole picture. You are not able to see the bigger picture, and you're not able to, I would say, treat yourself with care and with joy and with kindness. The real question is, while being in this gap mindset, do you believe that you can truly move ahead, that you can truly move forward? When you're in a mindset that leads you to see obstacles not as something to overcome, but rather as something higher than Mount Everest, an impossibility, a problem that comes that has no solution to it. When you are in a position where you see setbacks or failures as you being unworthy, you being bad, and you being the problem, instead of seeing it as feedback, as something that you can overcome. Because actually, obstacles are not something like Mount Everest. They're a test for yourself, or a possibility for you to enhance your critical thinking and your creative thinking. Setbacks and failures are not a doom. You don't have a fixed personality, you don't have a fixed identity, and you don't have fixed skills. You can constantly improve. Failures and setbacks are a possibility for you to see what did not work and course correct, actually. It's feedback loop that is given to you freely. Or maybe with some pain, but still, it's something you can learn from and then improve. Going to chapter 3, only seeing gains and the doors it can open. I have to say at this moment that even you watching this video is you being in the gain. It's a gain because you chose to stand up for yourself. You showed a willingness to move forward, to improve, to change something, change your life, change your perspective. And these are things that are achievable, that can happen. Being in the gain means that you acknowledge that life isn't happening to you, but it's actually happening for you. Everything that has happened so far was either a lesson or a big win. That's how you start seeing life. The doors that were closed to protect you from something else. That were closed because you might not have been fully ready to take in all the success that would come afterwards. But it doesn't mean that it is forever. As I previously said, every setback now becomes a feedback. It's a feedback loop that you're in. Every obstacle now becomes a way to test your critical and creative thinking. Being in the gain actually means that you are now able to course correct. You're able to see all the wonderful things you've been able to achieve, all the lessons you've been able to learn. One of the most interesting things that I read was that our present reframes our past. So our present has an effect on how we see the past, and our future frames how we act in the present. And just focusing on this first part, our present reframes our past, it means that everything that has happened, we can determine if it serves me. You can determine if it served you or not. You can determine the lesson that you take from it. It can be a horrible thing that has happened, and so you can say, this is something that I gained from this experience. One of the most beautiful things that happens when you are in the gain is that by now reframing everything as not per se positive, but something that aids you in your growth, you are now able to be open to new opportunities that you might have hidden yourself from because you were in a lack and a gap mindset. You were thinking that you're not good enough, that you cannot reach it, but now you are actually accepting, I can grow into it. I can fit these pants. I can grow into these things. You will be able to see the opportunities and actually grab them, take them. Going to the last chapter, implementation. I think the biggest thing that you can do for yourself is to look back 10 years. Looking back 10 years and then thinking about all the things you have gained, the skills, the knowledge, the abilities, all the things you have gained, the memories even. And when I did it, I really saw, because 10 years ago I was 17, I was able to really see, look, I have my driver's license, I have a car, I have obviously earned more money than I ever did at 17 because I wasn't even working at 17. I have learned so many things when it comes to love. I have learned a lot of things when it comes to how I'm acting or psychology in general. I was able to study, and I just sent out my bachelor thesis, so I will finally be done with uni on my days. Finally, but there are so many things that I was able to gain in the past 10 years that I was not aware of. So many things that I have done. I was able to speak in front of 25,000 people, something that I just let drift off like that because it was 5 years ago. And these are all things that I could not have done at 17, but I'm grateful that I was able to do them in this life. Something that you can do is look back 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, 1 month. Look back and look at all the gains, all the things, the good things that have happened to you, the things that you could learn, even from bad things, from good things and bad things. There's always a lesson hidden in anything. The best thing you should do is implement it, and you can even implement it daily. You can do quarterly reviews, weekly reviews, monthly reviews, but also daily reviews. And it doesn't have to be something super extravagant. Focus on only 3 gains. If you do it daily, focus on only 3 gains. Even weekly. It's not something that you're afraid of, something that you have to think about too much. Well, it's good to think about it still, because then you get into a mindset of, oh wow, look at all these things I have achieved. But it's not like a competition of how many gains you have. There's always gains that you can find. But it's more of you being able to see the good things because they were ignored for so long. On the daily, focus on maximum 3 gains from the present day. At night, for example, when your day is over, sit down in bed. I do it on my phone. I do it on a notes app because it's more accessible to me, but you can do it in a journal. You can do it wherever you want. Write down the 3 top gains of the day and then plan out the next day's gains that you want to achieve. You don't have to become a productivity whiz. It can be simple things. Like, for instance, when I started it, the first thing I wrote out was, while I was driving, it was a 4-lane street, and there was this car in front of me that was just stopping in the middle of the road, and we were going 50 kilometers per hour because he wanted to let someone pass before him, which was still dangerous, kind but dangerous. And I was able to brake at the right time so that it did not hit the car. And I was just telling myself, instead of getting mad and honking and now having a bad day, I told myself, wow, I was able to really pay attention and react in due time. This is a gain to me, seeing how important it is to be careful while driving. Obviously, it's a gain. It's a gain that can actually save my life and others' lives. It doesn't have to be something extravagant, but I think that once you have a vision for yourself, your gains that you plan ahead can become more specific. For example, me doing this video is one of the gains that I have planned, and I have pushed back a little bit for a few days, but right now I'm doing it. I'm really happy, and I'm gonna write it in my notes app tonight. It doesn't have to be something extravagant, but I trust me. Once you start viewing your life as a gain, viewing all the gains that you are able to reach in your life, you will then open up a new world of possibilities for yourself. Your life will not only change, but also the possibilities that come into your life, because opportunities are all around us. It's just that we don't take them up because we don't feel ready. There are even studies, especially for young women, that have shown, or women in general, that have shown that women tend to, when it comes to job applications, not apply unless they have almost all the requirements. Although men, on the other hand, tend to often apply for jobs where they don't meet all the requirements. This is a big difference, and it has a lot to do with mindset and how we were raised and brought up into this world. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that it brought something positive into your life. And let me know if you are able to implement it. Also, like and share with someone who might need it. I hope to get more people to this channel and build a community of women so that we can all grow together. Have a wonderful night. It's getting dark. Oof, you saw the light switch change, but I still made the video. Bisous, à la prochaine. Bye bye.